It's been really strange for us today because it's been quiet all day regarding the transfer front, and then news starts to fly in just as we're getting ready to start the stream. So we're getting close to signings by the looks of it, and that's what we want, right? Now we can argue, and we will argue over those signings being good enough or not, but that's what this forum's all about. George Schmadtke apparently looking like he's about to pull off a very strange signing. Romano has come out and said, exclusive, Liverpool submit formal bid to sign Japanese midfielder Wataru Endo on a permanent deal. Negotiations ongoing with Stuttgart. Player wants to move as it's the biggest opportunity of his career. Surprising by Liverpool. He's Milner's replacement, can play 4 or 5 positions. See, that I'm fine with. Harissa Sports, thank you for your super chat, by the way. I'm fine with that, mate. If he's a James Milner replacement to come in as a 5th choice midfielder, no problem. Or a 5th choice signing, I should say. No problem. And at 6.5 million, it's not a lot of money. So as long as we aren't pawned off with this guy as our a part of our midfield rebuild, I think we're alright. Because we do lack experience, and there's nothing wrong with bringing in a bit more experience. Sophie and Amrabat as a class one. So on Amrabat, my information, and again, please don't take this as gospel, it's just the info I have to hand, is that Amrabat isn't a serious consideration for Liverpool. That's what I've heard. Now, don't believe me, question everything. You're absolutely right to. But the information that I've been given is Amrabat isn't a serious consideration. Now, I don't know if this is coming from the Italian side because Sophie and Amrabat's missed out on a move to Manchester United by the fact that Maguire won't leave. And maybe Atletico haven't come to the table with a bid. But it does seem to all be stemming from the Italian side of this. And there are a couple of English-based journalists, one of them David Lynch, who said, reports of Liverpool closing in on a deal for Sophie and Amrabat are understood to be wide of the mark, not expecting previous interest in Moroccan to be followed up this summer. So again, I would agree with David Lynch there. I don't think that we legitimately are interested in Amrabat. That's my take on this situation. Brandon said, backup number 6, go big on a starter, number 6 has to be. I agree. We need to go big, and we will. That's what I wanted to come on here tonight more than anything else, to put your mind at ease. We will sign a big number 6, a big name player. Whether it's DOUCOURÉ or whether it's Palhinha, that remains to be seen. I firmly believe it'll be one of those two, but it'll depend on, I guess, the availability from their clubs. We know that Palhinha is coming back from an injury. The number's apparently about 60 for him. That's what the journalists are kind of talking about. With regards to DOUCOURÉ, I've seen numbers going from 50 to 80. So I truly don't know which one is true. But I'll give you all the journalist highlights and stuff as we go on. Let's start off with something from Christian Falk. True, Liverpool will start another try for Bayern's Ryan Gravenberch. Jurgen Klopp never gave up this transfer. And all along I've said I'm not convinced by Ryan Gravenberch, but I'm okay with Gravenberch coming in as the 4th. So if you brought in DOUCOURÉ or Palhinha and added Gravenberch and this dude from the Bundesliga, I'm fine with that. Wouldn't be my own preference, to be honest with you. I'd much rather Kefren Thuram than Gravenberch or Kone. Again, I prefer either one of them. But Jurgen has apparently been monitoring this kid for a while, and if he's not in Thomas Tuchel's plans, maybe Bayern will sell. Bayern have obviously laid out a lot of money for Harry Kane, but Bayern are a very well run business, so they're not going to be short of money. But again, let me know what you guys think on that one. The poll so far, it's quite close. Who would you choose between Palhinha and DOUCOURÉ? So far, 56% say DOUCOURÉ, Palhinha with 44%. For me, it's Palhinha every day of the week. I know there's a huge difference in age, but right now, we need to get through to the end of Jurgen's tenure at the club. So 3 years. And for that, we need to be signing a player in the here and now. DOUCOURÉ is in the here and now. Absolutely. Very good signing for Crystal Palace. I think he was their player of the year last year. He's only been there a year since a move from France. And probably gone under a lot of people's radars, mine included. But he's a very solid player. I just really want Palhinha. I wanted Palhinha before this window even started because I think he's phenomenal. And I think, yes, he's 27, 28 years of age, but you'll still get 4 or 5 years out of him. And he will certainly be a player that will come in and make us better right now. And that's what we should be looking to do. Because we don't have time to plan for the future when Klopp's leaving in 3 years. We need to get this team right now. And one of those signings would be enough for me to feel confident that we're going to actually be able to mount somewhat of a challenge. DOUCOURÉ has a £47 million release clause. I don't know of that. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I'm just saying right now, I don't know of it. And I haven't seen it mentioned by any journalists. Now, the nearest that I've seen mentioned, I will read out to you right now, from Miguel Delaney. So, Miguel Delaney has said, Liverpool are stepping up their efforts to sign Crystal Palace midfielder Craig DOUCOURÉ, who could cost around 50 million. So, that kind of tallies with what you said there, my friend. 47, 48 million. And then DOUCOURÉ. I mean, look. DOUCOURÉ or Palhinha, I'm sound with either one. Absolutely fine. Far better signing for me than Amrabat. Amrabat is a risk, in my opinion. Good player. I'm not trying to run him down. But not a game changer for me. And I think this dude could be a game changer if we sign either of them. If Liverpool were to bring in one of the two gentlemen at the top there with the poll is about, and we bring in this man here, yes, we've pretty much hit the homegrown quota, which would make you think maybe they're going to look at marquee from Crystal Palace, but Palace aren't going to want to lose two players. So it is a fair point that you've raised, mate. And I don't know if we're going to get that centre back. I hope to God we are, but you've raised a very valid point. If this gentleman Endo comes in, we've one non-homegrown place left. Now, Gravenberch, if he came in on top, we wouldn't have to worry about that for another year. But then Thiago would leave and that would free up that. So it's a valid point. Whitehammer said the desperation of us is now embarrassing. But it isn't, mate. It isn't embarrassing. Like, we have time to get the big signing and I think we'll do it. I can't believe I'm about to say these words, Whitehammer, because it makes me feel grubby saying them. But I do think the club are going to get it done. I think they're going to get the signing that they need. But it has been an embarrassment. I can't deny that part of your sentence. Like, what's happened has been embarrassing. But we can't just sit here and dwell on it. We've got to get on with it. We've got to try and be proactive. We've got to try and find solutions. And at least the club are trying to do that, which I guess is better than saying, well, we can't do it, and then here's Arthur Melo, which was horrendously bad. Will this Endo now and Andre in January? So on Andre, I'm fine. If Liverpool brought it, how do I question this? I'm fine if Liverpool were to sign, let's say, this dude that we spoke about, Endo, and one of DOUCOURÉ and Palhinha. I wouldn't mind if we went back in January then for Andre, to be honest with you, because whatever happens, we are going to have to replace Thiago next summer. We're going to have to add another squad member. So I'm fine if this guy is brought in alongside Palhinha or DOUCOURÉ, and then we go back in for Andre in January when he's far more, I won't say far more available, but it's far more palatable for Fluminense to sell him then, because the season will be over. So we've got to here we go. Endo to Liverpool, here we go, said Fabrizio. Test booked on Thursday for the Japanese midfielder who's signing from Stuttgart for €18 million. Personal terms agreed in a few hours as Endo asks a Stuttgart captain to leave and follow his dream. So that's one in. Hopefully the medical all goes well, and of course we'll keep you up to date on that one. Okay, that's one down. We need another. So let's hope we get the news on the other one is coming. At least it shows us one thing. The club are working behind the scenes to get stuff done. And it's about time George start earning that crust of his. Oh, hello. Ooh. So this dude that we've signed has missed next to nothing. Like, his injury record is phenomenal. Between 2012 and 2022, 1, 2, 4, 12, 14, 16, 17, 22, 32, 34, 43 games in 10 years is all he's missed. So what's that? 4 games a season over 10 years. That's pretty good. And if you look at his recent history, between 2018 to last year, 4 games is all he missed in 5 seasons. 4 games. That's pretty good. So that's probably one of the reasons why he's been looked at, because he's robust, and we had enough sick notes at the club. Let's hope this one actually shows up for his medical. Imagine the staff are fed up of getting the equipment set up and being told they're not needed, said Liam Thomas. Well, according to multiple journalists, mate, he's on the way for the medical. Everything's agreed. Do you think that's all FSG get for us this window, or do you think there's more in the works? Oh, I firmly believe there's more in the works. Yes. I think you will see an over £45 million signing. I'm hopeful in the next week. But yes, I do. And I hate them. I don't want to give FSG a bit of credit, mate. I'm very firmly, after the Super League, not a fan of our owners. But yes, I do. Because look, they've tipped their hand. They've shown us they've 111 million. And if you're willing to pay that for Caicedo, you can't then turn around and cry poor mouth and say there's no money available. And also, I would dare to suggest that this man Endo is probably going to be on a very, very reasonable wage. You know, I can't imagine him coming in on 80, 100 grand a week. I think you're probably going to see him on 40 maybe, at a guess. Something really reasonable like. I know everybody's going to disagree with me, but I agree not to pay 55 million for Lavia. Because we can get carried away as fans. But we have a very good young man ourselves who's only played 15 games less in the Premier League, and we got him for 300 grand. So if you're Liverpool and you have Bajcetic and you've spent 300 grand, and then somebody who's just a smidgen more experienced and not English either, so it's not like you're buying an English talent, and they're asking for upwards of £50 million, you kind of have to draw a line in the sand somewhere. Now, the embarrassing part for me wasn't that we walked away at 46. The embarrassing part was to come back in after Chelsea had apparently agreed a deal, or after we'd walked away and said he wasn't worth 50 and then came back in at 55. That's the embarrassing part. But there's a bit of a debate about if Liverpool actually came back in. Southampton are even unsure about it. If you look at what they said recently, it was that they were unsure, or somebody was fooling them. Craig, you can, I think you meant can't, seriously be happy with Endo. Why can't I be happy, Joshua? Why can't I be happy that we've added in some experience, some cover in a few positions? Why would I not be happy about that? I think maybe you're expecting this to be our last bit of business in midfield. I don't think it is. I think if we did this the other way round, if we had signed DOUCOURÉ and then we brought this guy in, maybe a lot of people in the chat's opinions are different. But look, bodies are bodies. We need them in. And I said, injury-wise, his injury record's excellent. Experience-wise, not going to get much more experience. Japanese captain, Stuttgart captain, versatile midfielder, defender, and a reasonable fee. Kind of a little couple of million on top of what we got for Henderson. So if you take it that way, that's okay with me. I'm trying. Look, how mad is it that I'm on here trying to be Mr. Positivity? I'm the Antichrist. I'm the one that moans and gives out about everything, and I'm on here tonight trying to be the voice of optimism. So yeah, I would just say give it a while. Right, so let's compare Fabinho stats with Wataru Endo stats. Age-wise, 30, 29. Fabinho a bit younger. Goals, I think neither of them we need to be worried about the goals. Shot accuracy, Endo's is higher by a good substantial amount. Assists, neither have either to be spoken about. Chance created, again, not much to speak about. Fabinho attempts more passes in a game than Endo. Fabinho attempted about 30% more. Pass accuracy, Fabinho has a higher pass accuracy at 88%, Endo 79%. Duels contested, 13.6 to Endo versus 8.6 for Fabinho. So again, that could be because Stuttgart defend more, but again, he seems to be proficient in those battles. Tackles made, they're exactly identical. Average per game, 2.2. Fouls conceded, Endo's better. Slightly lower fouling rate. Aerial duels, Fabinho is like 0.2 ahead, so again, negligible. Ground duel success, 50% for Endo, 47% for Fabinho, and clearances 1.9 versus 1.3. So if you're stacking them up against Fabinho for stats, And they're not absolutely comparable because one is the Bundesliga, one is the Premier League. But you can see what he's about. I mean, loads of people losing their mind, crying, whinging about a signing. Get over yourselves. If you're not willing to give the lad a chance, then do one. Quite simply. I don't get it. Get behind the lad. He wants to play for Liverpool. He's hyped to play for Liverpool. Get behind him. Give the dude the chance. That he clearly believes that he's good enough. And let's get behind him. And I said, don't judge the window yet. There's still another signing to be made in midfield. I'm with you all on that. But God almighty, give the lad a chance. Imagine we did this about Andy Robertson, by the way. Now, I know that age comparability isn't a thing. But imagine we did that about him. Now, we were grand with Milner because we all knew Milner when we brought him in. Remember? Give the dude a chance.